105.5.
Time to talk about sports.
Let's talk sport. On Sportsbet. Only on Splash. 105.5 FM.
And a very pleasant evening to you once again, wherever you are this beautiful Tuesday evening. Welcome to another edition of Sports Bang on Splash FM 105.5. Broadcasting live from White House of Felele in the ancient city of Ibadan. Today is the 4th day in the 4th month in the year 2023. And it's such a pleasure to welcome you back to the show this evening. My name is Akinosho Oluwafemi, but you can simply call me Femighty. Once again, I'm ready to update you this evening. On the show this evening, we'll take a look at several updates coming from the world of sport. From the world of tennis, it's looking like there are two Spaniards who will be, unavailable for the next couple of weeks as Rafael Nadal and former world number one Carlos Alcaraz pulls out of the Monte Carlo Masters. And also coming from boxing, we'll talk about the suspension, or should I say the ban of American. Don't forget our latest updates coming from the world of basketball as well. And from the world of football, tonight is match day. So many games to look forward to across the European front. Tonight we'll witness a couple of Premier League games, about 4 Premier League games as a matter of fact. Tonight also we'll witness a Coppa Italia game, as well as also a Spanish Copa del Rey game and a couple of German Cup games. That's the German DFB Poker. As a matter of fact, there is a German Cup game going on right now, and the game is in a 76th minute. We'll bring you updates coming from, live updates coming from that game also. So much to talk about this evening. Just sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy the ride. Now, the first point of call this evening is, the English Premier League, where Chelsea are set to take on Liverpool later tonight. Let's say in a little over an hour's time. I'm sure you remember on Sunday, Chelsea coach, now former Chelsea coach, Graham Potter, was actually fired after a couple of very horrible results. And one of his assistants, one of his former assistants, Bruno Saito, was put in charge of the club to take charge on interim basis until further notice. Now, of course, the first game of Bruno Saito in charge interim, of course, of Chelsea comes tonight. And he spoke to the media yesterday, talking about what his team must do, how difficult the last couple of hours have been, and what they must do to make sure that they start turning around the results that led to the sack of Graham Potter. Let's quickly take a listen to Bruno Saito speak for the first time as the head coach of Chelsea Football Club.
First of all, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for the staff because Graham and Billy, they live in two top coaches, top people, top human beings, and how I see it is I have to be the most professional I can, try to help the players, guide the players towards preparing the game the best we can.
We have to be as professional as we can, help the players, advise the players, prepare the players. Well, I'll prepare that day for the games tonight. Of course, ahead of the game tonight, also Liverpool head coach also have been speaking. As you know, they also suffered a huge loss during the weekend. They're talking about Liverpool's loss to Manchester City. And the Jurgen Klopp seems to believe that, the first half was okay. I believe everyone will feel that way also. The first half was okay, but everything went wrong in the second half. Well, it sounds like a certain Manchester United versus Liverpool game. But then let's listen to Jurgen Klopp, what he said ahead of the game later tonight.
Super strange game. Okay, first half, awful second half. We said it. It's unacceptable, but happened anyway. And now we have to make sure we are ready. That's it.
Well, already a day for the game against Chelsea tonight. It's Stamford Bridge. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, that's just to welcome you to the show. But quickly leaving Chelsea and English Premier League this evening, let's just quickly bring you live updates coming from one of the German DFB poker games happening right now. Remember, the German Cup is in its semi-finals. Only 4 teams remain. And after tonight, we might as well see who would the 2 finalists for the tournament will be. Let's confirm to you that right now, Eintracht Frankfurt are currently in action against Union Berlin. And after about 79 minutes of football played, it is Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Union Berlin 0. 2 goals are coming from Randal Kolo Muani. Remember him? He was part of the French team to the FIFA World Cup. And both goals were also assisted by another player who played in the FIFA World Cup final in 2014. As a matter of fact, won it and scored the winning goal. Assisted by Mario Götze. 2 assists for Mario Götze and 2 goals for Randal Kolo Muani as Eintracht Frankfurt leads by 2-0. And later tonight by 7:45 p.m. it would be Thomas Tuchel's second game in charge of Bayern Munich as they play host to Freiburg in the second semi-final game of the German DFB Pokal. And also, let's tell you that tonight, Juventus will also be in action in the Coppa Italia. It's the first Coppa Italia semi-final against Inter Milan. Juventus have been on a resurgence recently, especially considering all the travels that they have experienced off the pitch of play. While for Inter Milan, we are not sure what is going on with that team. All we know is that they have been losing. And their latest loss was during the weekend when they lost at home to Fiorentina by a lone goal. But tonight, both teams will look to put the league form aside and play a cup game that will determine if both teams will get into the final. Either team will get into the final of this particular tournament, the Coppa Italia. Juventus tonight by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, up against Inter Milan. Okay, and leaving foreign football stories quickly, let's take a look at what is going on in other parts of the world of sports. Starting with boxing, let's confirm to you that former lightweight champion Amir Khan has been banned for 2 years after an anti-doping test revealed the presence of a banned substance following his fight against Kell Brook in February 2022. One thing you need to know is that Amir Khan already has retired from boxing. In fact, he did that in May last year, but then he has accepted that before he retired back in February 2022, he actually had some banned substances in his system while involved in his last fight. This means that he has now been banned for the next 2 years. I'm sure you wonder why a boxer who has retired is still being banned. You know, these boxers, they come out of retirement like they're just going to the toilet. I mean, we have witnessed the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and a couple of other, big boxers come out of retirement and say, okay, just one more fight. The fact is, for Amir Khan, even if he decides at the age of 36 right now to come out of retirement and say, hey, just one more fight, he would not be able to. He has been banned for 22 months. That's a period of 2 years as a result of having a banned substance in his system when he had his last fight back in February 2022. Okay, quickly leaving boxing this evening, let's quickly talk about the NBA. Let's confirm to you that there was a night of break in the NBA last night, or should I say early hours of this morning. But I can tell you early hours of tomorrow morning, proceedings will continue in the regular season of the NBA. 12 midnight Nigerian time is the kickoff time, and 4 games would actually kick off by 12 midnight. Toronto Raptors up against Charlotte Hornets, and Miami Heat against the Detroit Pistons. Cleveland Cavaliers up against Orlando Magic, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks up against Washington Wizards. Those are the 4 games that will kick off by 12 a.m. Nigerian time. And then by 12:30 a.m., it will be Minnesota Timberwolves up against Brooklyn Nets. And then by 1 a.m., a couple of more games, about 4 more games would actually kick off. Boston Celtics against Philadelphia 76ers by 1 a.m. Atlanta Hawks against Chicago Bulls also by 1 a.m. Denver Nuggets up against the Houston Rockets also by the same time 1 a.m. Portland Trailblazers against Memphis Grizzlies also by the same time 1 a.m. Sacramento Kings up against New Orleans Pelicans will be the final 1 a.m. kickoff game. 2 a.m. Nigerian time, LA Lakers up against Utah Jazz. By 3 a.m., Oklahoma City Thunder will be up against the Golden State Warriors. And then by 3 a.m., also San Antonio Spurs will be up against the Phoenix Suns. Those are the games to look forward to when it comes to the early hours of tomorrow morning. And talking about how things stand in the NBA, well, in the Eastern Conference, not less than 5 teams have booked their place in the playoffs of the NBA this season. Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the New York Knicks have all secured a place in the playoffs of the NBA this season. Just one automatic playoff position left in the Eastern Conference. And either Miami Heat, Brooklyn Nets, or Atlanta Hawks will battle for that one. In the Western Conference, only 3 teams have mathematically qualified for the playoffs: Denver Nuggets, Memphis Grizzlies, and the Sacramento Kings. Okay, quickly moving away from basketball this evening, let's quickly talk about tennis, and let's confirm to you that both Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz earlier today pulled out of the Monte Carlo Masters as a result of an injury. Well, both Spaniards announced their withdrawal just minutes after each other. Well, of course, we know that the French Open is fast approaching on clay court, which is the favorite court of Rafael Nadal. And considering the fact that earlier this month, Rafael Nadal fell out of the top 10 rankings for the first time since 2005 due to not competing for over 2 months, we're sure that Rafael Nadal will hope to get back in time for the French Open and get back at least into the top 10. But he has pulled out of the Monte Carlo Masters, and this is one of the preparatory tournaments before the French Open, and that puts his French Open participation very much in doubt. And Carlos Alcaraz, who lost in the semifinals of the semifinals of the Miami Open to Yannick Sinner, also has pulled out as a result of a nagging injury. And finally, coming from the world of tennis, let's quickly confirm to you that the world celebrates Iga Swiatek as she clocks 1 year as the world #1 female tennis player. Iga Swiatek 1 year ago, exactly today, she officially replaced Ashley Barty as the new world #1 after Ashley Barty retired from active tennis. It's now 365 days since Iga Swiatek became the new world #1 in the WTA. And she's still soldiering on. When she became world #1 in about a year ago, she had about 1,736 points. Now she has over 6,000 points to her advantage. 1 whole year, that is 52 weeks as the world #1 female tennis player. And I can tell you she's already breaking some of the records of former world number ones who stayed very long in the position. Who will dethrone Iga Swiatek? Let's wait for the French Open and see. Okay, moving away from other sport right about now, and let's talk about the Nigerian football scene. Let's confirm to you that tomorrow, the 5th of April 2023, it will be the day for the CAF Confederations Cup quarterfinal draws in Egypt at the CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt. Let's confirm to you that Rivers United, of course, will be part of the teams being drawn for the last 8 of the tournament. And I can also tell you that Rivers United are looking to be the first Nigerian team to actually win the CAF Confederations Cup. I can also tell you that Rivers United are the last hope of Nigeria when it comes to the continental football this season. We started with 4 representatives, only 1 is left. And I can also confirm to you that because of that, Rivers United have been handsomely rewarded. It was announced just a couple of days ago, about a couple of hours ago, as a matter of fact, that Rivers United had to get $350,000 for reaching the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederations Cup. That's the prize money, or should I say that's the price attached to getting to that stage in the CAF Confederations Cup. Now convert that to Naira and you are talking about, hundreds of million Naira. And this, of course, will help Rivers United prosecute their games, prepare for whichever travels they need to do in the quarterfinal stage of this particular tournament. So we keep our fingers crossed that tomorrow, Rivers United will know their opponent. And I can tell you that there are a couple of feisty opponents ahead of the game, ahead of the quarterfinal stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. Okay, quickly, let's go straight to Europe now and talk about the updates coming from over there. We knew about this incident a long time ago. The incident that I would say, mathematically or realistically put Manchester United in the semi-finals of the English FA Cup. Fulham were cruising and were on their way to the semi-finals of the English FA Cup, and suddenly a couple of personnel lost their heads, and Manchester United took advantage of that. Let's confirm to you that the English FA have now confirmed an 8-game ban for Alexander Mitrovic for shoving and his attitude towards the referee on that day, Chris Kavanagh. Remember, the FA Cup quarterfinal game was played at Old Trafford on the 19th of March that saw Alexander Mitrovic get red carded, and so many football enthusiasts said he had to have a retrospective ban, that the 3-game ban normally attached to a straight red card was not enough for the violent conduct that he showed on the night. Now, the Premier League has decided that, 8 games will be what Alexander Mitrovic will miss. He already missed one, that is Fulham's defeat to Bournemouth on Saturday. Which means there are still 7 more Fulham games for Mitrovic to miss. Meanwhile, his coach, Rafa Silva, who was also red-carded, has now been handed a 2-game touchline ban. He was available for their game against Bournemouth during the weekend because the hammer was not officially out yet. But now the hammer is officially out. Marco Silva will not be on the dugout when Fulham plays their next 2 games. And also, Fulham as a club have been fined £40,000 for not being able to control their players at Old Trafford. For more on these, let's now join the BBC for the BBC Premier League updates. When we come back tonight, we'll give you a full dossier of the games to go down later tonight.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, this is Ed Harry at the BBC Sports Centre. Tottenham's interim manager Christian Stellini says his side lacks personality. He was speaking after Spurs conceded a 90th minute equaliser to draw 1-1 at Everton.
You need a personality to play in this type of stadium, in this type of moment. So we have to improve in the way we respect the opponent, and when the game changes, you have to be ready to fight.
Spurs are fourth. Everton are out of the bottom three, but only a point above the drop zone. They could be back there later this Tuesday. You'd wonder, though, which manager is fighting for safety when you listen to Sean Dyche.
I'm not bothered about any of them sides. I just know the mentality is growing. That's what we've been looking to do, continue with that. And that is definitely on show. The work ethic of the players, the belief in the system, the belief in what we're trying to achieve. I think that's on show. And I think tonight was outstanding, some parts of the game. The attitude towards it's outstanding. The feel of the performances, it just keeps growing. And that's the important thing for us.
It is Leeds who've dropped into the bottom three. They have a chance to hit back later on Tuesday, though. They're facing Nottingham Forest. Leeds boss Xavi Gracia is aware they're facing somebody else in the relegation picture.
I try to enjoy every day because it's not only football, it's the life. Try to enjoy every day. But when you feel the responsibility of people around you, all of them trust your job, trust will get the target at the end, of course you do it as well. But you feel that responsibility, and until you don't get it, you don't stop.
Managerless Leicester and Chelsea are both at home to Aston Villa and Liverpool respectively. For more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, welcome back from that. And of course, the games tonight in the English Premier League. By the way, you can go on our Facebook fan page right about now and tell me how you think the game will go down later tonight. You can call it the game of the two strugglers. Liverpool struggling in their last couple of games, and Chelsea, of course, have been the king of strugglers for a couple of months now. How do you think the game will go down later tonight? We're broadcasting live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SplashFM105.5. You can tell me how you think the game will go down later tonight. Agumbiade Sharif, thank you so much. I see you. Okay, just to tell you the games that to go down tonight once again. Bournemouth, AFC Bournemouth will take on Brighton and Hove Albion by 7:45 p.m. Leeds United up against Nottingham Forest. Also by that same time, 7:45 p.m. Leicester City with new manager, well, an interim manager in charge anyway, will be up against Aston Villa, the team practically responsible for sacking one particular manager. And of course, Chelsea by 8 p.m. Nigerian time up against Liverpool. It's been a time of sacking in England. 12 managers have now lost their jobs in the Premier League this season. And as a matter of fact, 2 clubs have fired managers twice this season. Southampton fired Rafa Arsene Hotel this season, and at the same time fired Nathan Jones this same season. And of course, Chelsea also have fired 2 managers, Thomas Tuchel and Graham Potter. So many managers have lost their jobs. This has to be the highest in years, if not decades. What is happening in the Premier League? Is it a competition that is so feisty? Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed concerning that. Okay, I have to tell you that this is my cue to get out of the studio. I have to say, though, thank you so very much for listening to me this evening. It's been such a pleasure. It's been such a pleasure bringing Sports Bank to you this evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning by God's grace at 7:30 a.m. Nigerian time for the midweek edition of Sports Bank. Do join us, please. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.
Splash FM 105.5.
Onígbọ̀wọ́ ìrun pípé yìí ni Honourable Bímbọ́ Adékànbí. Wọ́n ṣe ládùúrà wípé kí Ọlọ́run ọba Allah gba ìrawọ́rasẹ̀ àti ìyànjú wa nínú oṣù àwẹ̀ yìí. Allahumma amin.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على حي على حي على الفلاح حي على